A very good afternoon, everyone, wherever you might be watching around the world.
Thank you.
And welcome to the continuation of Group 7 in this, the BetVictor Championship League. Leicester's Mattioli Arena is the venue as 6 players battle for the last remaining spot in the winners group, scheduled for early next month. Yes, 6 players, because Jack Jones withdrew from the group this morning with fatigue, reducing the number of matches from 21 to 15 in its round-robin phase. That's why there are only 2 matches on Table 2 in this session, both featuring Zhao Guodong, who could quite easily seal a semi-final place tonight. Zhao plays Ricky Walden first up. They're already underway, while on Table 1 we'll be concentrating on a repeat of a Group 6 semi-final. That's England's Joe O'Connor against Thailand's Noppon Saengkham. And Stephen Hallworth, if this match is as good as that one, we're in for a treat. Yes, and Saengkham lost his opener to Zhao Guodong, so a win here, very important for both of them. Yeah, that semi-final last night, basically, O'Connor made 106 and 73 for a 2-0 lead, but he only potted 1 red in the next 2 frames. Noppon Saengkham's 143 total clearance was the highest break of the group, actually. And so Saengkham appeared to have momentum, but as Stephen has told us, O'Connor dug deep, making a break of 57 that was especially well crafted. This is only their 3rd meeting, all of them this week in the Championship League, because apart from the semi-final yesterday, O'Connor also beat Saengkham 3-0 in the round-robin phase of Group 6. Well, O'Connor apologises before the cue ball is stopped. What a flick on the blue to hold position for quite a narrow gap on the black.
No. 37.
60. 70.
37.
24. 25.
In the gap between sessions, Stephen, weren't you playing darts with Joe O'Connor?
Absolutely. But a very tense exchange upstairs in the players' lounge. It all got very serious in the end. Don't really want to talk about the result, if I'm honest, Phil, but a pretty decent darts technique as Joe. Could be pretty handy at the game. I mean, he's not bad at this game, I suppose, either, so got a lot going for him. What a way to fill the time, though, up in the players' lounge. And a great introduction, bringing the dartboard in.
40.
When's the darts Q school, Phil?
Well, I don't know, but we were actually in Milton Keynes on one occasion when the darts Q school was being played. It's well subscribed.
Yeah, they get hundreds of players in that, don't they? Up on Saengkham, watches on. Joe O'Connor, we've already said he's played some really good stuff over the past few days, and when he's been in this sort of position, he's been killing off the frames very, very quickly. Well, that, for me, is shot of the week. He came round and had a look at that red. And look at where he's left himself. That is brilliant.
And that is someone who's grounded in pool.
40.
Brilliant. Superb shot.
That wasn't just skill and accuracy, that was knowledge.
48.
Yeah, so well worked out. Although he'd like that one back. He's looking at the cushion. Well, possibly the cloth. Feels like he hasn't had quite the reaction he thought. He's on nothing here, I don't think. But that shot he's played so clever. He could only leave the red he was attempting. He'll be fuming that his end of break after knocking that sort of shot in.
Joe O'Connor, 48.
Reasonably well played safety, that. Absolutely the right road. Little more bounce off that ball cushion. It would have been right in behind the green with the cue ball.
Well, this is now a great chance for Noppon. He may have a red available to right corner. If he doesn't fancy it, he's got a guaranteed safety shot off the red beneath the pink and can easily get Joe in trouble, but there you can see that trademark sort of wobble behind the shot that he does, gearing up to take this red on. Yeah, he's always very locked in on that type of shot. Hand on table, you expect him to crunch them in, and there's another one.
Now, that wasn't dissimilar to the black that O'Connor missed on 140 in the previous group.
8.
Into the opposite top corner pocket, yes, but the same kind of cut. I think the one that Saengkham had there was a little easier than the one that O'Connor failed on for the max.
Now, he made a big mistake, Noppon, in his match earlier against Zhao Guodong. He was 1-0 up and had a great chance to steal the second frame to take a 2-0 lead and be firmly in control of that match. Missed a red, Zhao Guodong cleared up, and then, well, the rest was history. Zhao Guodong went on a mad one for the next 2 frames, it seemed. Breaker 1-3-5 along the way as well. So he'll be trying his hardest here, Noppon, to make this chance count. Instantly has asked himself a question.
Noppon Saengkham 50.
Joe O'Connor will be delighted. Saengkham only mustered 15 there. It was a really poor positional shot from the pink.
Noppon Saengkham 50.
Nothing involved about it at all. Well, someone needs a new silencer. Car revving up or a motorbike outside.
Right on his backswing as well. He's done well to knock that in. That's a very good follow-up, okay. He hasn't got on the red he intended in baulk, but he's got Noppon in a guaranteed bit of trouble after this next shot. Sure, there might have been some negative thoughts running through his mind on that black because it wasn't too dissimilar to the one he missed in the Maxman attempt a few days ago. Ooh, but that's not a good shot.
Well, the kiss wasn't the best because the pink has been knocked down table. But it could have been a whole lot worse. He can't complain.
Seven.
First frame of the session on table 2 in the balance. One red left. Both have made errors. Zhao Kedong leads Ricky Walden by 11 points. And you might have heard that distinctive thwack as the ball hits the back of the pocket. Zhao just double the last red. A much better effort than the one we've just seen from Noppon Saengkham.
Yeah, it was a good billiard shot he's just played. But of course, we're not playing billiards. All his attention there was on the red.
Noppon Saengkham 7, draw corner 4.
Not a clean frame, and Saengkham only 38 behind with 67 on. And look at this table. It's made for a clearance.
One.
And that's much better. That was a really clean strike from Noppon. Fully committed to it as well. You can see where he's left the cue ball. He's leaving everything for Joe, but backs himself fully. It's the correct way to play that type of shot.
Six. Seven. Fourteen.
So often in these best of 5 frame sprints, what happens in the first frame moulds the entire contest. And Saengkham has got a really good opportunity to strike.
23.
That was a delicate little one as well. He was slightly lower on that black than he would have liked. To really nip into the cue ball just to hold for this red to middle, and he's made a very good job of it. So 8 points adrift. Nothing safe.
31.
Good chance for a steal. He's taken these well, considering a couple of times he's been slightly out of position. He's still going.
Still 2 adrift, so he needs yellow to pink.
36. $38. 41. $45. $50.
During that break, you would have fully expected to pot the blue to a middle pocket. So when he dropped on that shot, it was a little tester. Passed with flying colours,
56.
as was knocking in the pink. 56 clearance, 2 pink, and Noppon Saengkham, who was trailing for the majority of the frame, ends up winning it. Joe O'Connor, 1-0 adrift. We've just seen a fighting frame from Noppon Saengkham on table 1. The first frame of the evening on table 2 isn't over, but it is now. Just as I speak, Zhao Guodong pots the blue to seal it, so he leads Ricky Walden 1-0. Walden needed a snooker before the blue went in, so Zhao effectively won that frame on the green. Been a good day for the Wuhan Open champion so far, Stephen.
Yeah, he's played some really good stuff as well, particularly his opening game against Zhou Yulong here on table 1. Breaks of 101 and 130, just to add to the tally of century breaks that have been flying in throughout this whole event. He's looked good, and you can just see he's full of confidence at the minute. There was a number of shots that he played actually in his second game against Noppon here on table 1 as well, that you only play them if you're full of confidence, and you're only looking for the positives. You know, this is a hard game, and over the years you develop battle scars out there, and sometimes that can cloud your thought process and vision for the game. Not Zhao Guodong, he's seeing everything clearly at the minute, fancies everything. Joe just can't stop doubling.
He's double trouble. That was another cracker. Certain doubles are quite obvious. But the two he's knocked in, one to a corner pocket, and that one, I think they just show his particular forte. One of the worst doublers ever was one of the greatest players ever, Stephen Hendry. I did a coaching book with Stephen. We went to his club in Stirling and we went through all of the stuff, and he gave me his ideas and his thoughts. And when we got to the section on doubles, he said, just write it yourself. I've got no input whatsoever. How can I tell anyone else how to double a ball when I can't do it? And the strange thing was, his fellow Scot John Higgins is recognised as one of the best. Of course, in 9-ball pool, they call it a bank.
And Joe O'Connor's made some pretty decent bank this week. Racking up the prize money. Still involved in this one, still with a chance to earn more.
One.
Yeah, let's not forget he's been course and distance. As Joe O'Connor, he was the losing finalist in the winners group last season. Beaten by Mark Selby.
Six. Seven.
What a good shot that was, by the way. And now a real chance presents itself.
Yeah, and like you say, the first frame, Phil, can often set the tone for the match, and I just wonder if that was a very big first frame for Noppon Saengkham to turn it around and make the clearance, steal it from Joe from way behind. Might have just teed him up nicely for this game now. We'll soon find out.
15.
It's a very important spell, this, for Noppon Saengkham. He's 37th on the one-year list at the moment.
22.
So over the course of the German Masters and Welsh Open, the last two qualifying tournaments, he will want to make A and secure his place in the top 32 on the one-season list
23.
to be in the World Grand Prix in Hong Kong.
30.
So next week he plays Jimmy Robertson, Englishman, in the first round of the German Masters. He's also got Jimmy Robertson in the World Open. Doesn't know his opponent yet in the Welsh Open, but it might well be Scottish Open champion Leigh Pei Fan. So nothing easy.
38.
They say, don't they, it's a cliche, there are no easy matches these days. Well, I think there are very, very, very few easy matches these days. That's more accurate, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
30.
You're absolutely right. That the standard on the tour in general is so much better, and the strength in depth throughout is certainly a lot better. You know, there's people ranked outside the 40s in the world that you can seriously consider as title contenders on their day. Of course, the difference, in my opinion, is just the consistency of the players. You know, we can all make 100 breaks, but we can't all do it as consistently as the top boys do. And
40.
you know, a little bit of confidence here and there, a few wins, a deep run. Look at Zhao Guodong. He's 35 years of age now, and of course that is no age, but in terms of snooker, there's players winning tournaments in their 20s, so I suppose he's somewhat of a veteran, but got the job done, got the confidence from it, and he's kicked on. So many players like that.
45.
Yeah, Saengkham's 32, so he's very much in his prime. He's got both youth and experience.
Made a clever shot there, Noppon.
52.
He could have played that anyway, but chose to top the black in and come off the side cushion because it gave him a choice of 2 reds to be on. Now he may can run this cue ball through and push another red into play. Well, he's pushed them all into play. Another very well played shot.
Over on table 2, meanwhile, Ricky Walden smacking amongst the balls. Might have a better look to get back onto level terms against Zhao Guodong. The 2 practice tables here at the Championship League
60.
are 2 of the most underused practice tables on the tour, because the guys are playing so much snooker over a number of days that the last thing they want to be doing in between matches is putting hours upon hours of practice in. But you can rest assured you'll find Saengkham out there. He's a real hard worker.
Yeah, he just loves the game, doesn't he, Noppon? He loves playing, he loves everything about snooker. He loves the process as well, the process of practicing all the hours, trying to get better, trying to improve, try and learn. So that red disappearing virtually stamps his 2-0 lead in this game, and he's looking good all of a sudden. Bit of a shaky start, I think it's fair to say. There was a couple of chances squandered from both, but Noppon stood up when it mattered.
76. $77.
2-0 it is, and just as in Group 5 for Joe O'Connor, it's now a fight for survival.
Napon Saengkham 77 and different.
Napon Saengkham can't convert that 77 break into a century, but we all knew it was more than sufficient for him to double his advantage to 2-0. On table 1, the tie isn't tied. Napon Saengkham 2-0 up on Joe O'Connor.
Frame 3, Napon Saengkham to break.
And a 3-0 win here would do him the world of good, and it would do big damage to Joe O'Connor's chances of making the semi-final playoffs tomorrow night. Over on table 2, Ricky Walden is about to draw level with Zhao Guodong at 1-1. Just a matter of whether he can make a century. Century, no, for Walden. Equalising, yes.
Been a real struggle this match so far for Joe O'Connor. Hasn't quite managed to find the form that we've seen this week. Although these matches, we know they can turn around very quickly, but if they are going to turn, if it is going to turn for Joe O'Connor, he's got to not play shots like that. And he knows it as he walks back to his seat. Incredibly disappointed with that one. Feels like Napon Saengkham is growing in confidence in this game. He's been gifted an easy starter here. That's another beautifully struck shot. Cue ball's just crept top side of the blue, which was imperative. And now he can make his way back down the table, just looking at the two reds above and to the right of the black. They both pass to this left corner pocket. They'll be screwing this with a touch of right-hand side on the cue ball, which, when making contact with the cushion, becomes reverse side. There you see. And this, all of a sudden, becomes a very good chance. Now, I'd love to be straight on the red just above the black. He isn't, so taking the one closest to it. So many options here, Noppon. He'll probably look to leave himself a low angle on one of these reds at some stage. Pot the red, go into the reds and back out for the black. See how he goes about it. Well, he's left that shot now, should he wish to play it. Can't avoid going into the reds, but
90.
How's he going to go about getting back out for his colour? Is he going forward or backwards? No, that's perfect. That really is a very, very good shot from Noppon.
You come into these matches wanting to win by any score, but 3-0 highly preferable. You don't get any extra money for it, of course. It's £100 per frame won. But Saengkham knows a 3-0 win really improves his frames won lost record, which could come into the equation. And it worsens that of a potential rival in O'Connor. In fact, if O'Connor does lose 3-0, what a difference from Group 6. He would have no points from 2 matches, 1 frame against 6 lost.
Amazing, isn't it, from day to day, how the performance levels can increase or drop. Joe's have slightly dropped today. Started the day off brilliantly. The first frame he won of the day was a break of 138, and we thought, here we go again. Joe O'Connor, he's back, but Gilbert turned that match around. Of course, the second frame he was on for a max, missed the black off the spot on 97. Then it all went wrong in the final frame. He ended up giving away 9 missed penalty points in a row to Dave Gilbert. Virtually lost the frame from a mistake of his own. So it's all gone downhill since then for Joe O'Connor.
For a while, the record for most consecutive misses was 16 from Stuart Bingham.
39.
Now, I don't know whether that's still the record, but I'll tell you what I do know is that when he did the 16 consecutive misses, he won the frame.
Well, it's 46 points the lead when this pink disappears, and he's still got 3 reds in open play, so this is a great chance now for Noppon to win this match at this visit.
46. 47.
'Just a little use of right-hand running side there, just to widen the angle off the cushion to avoid the loose red.
54.
Making sure he got out for either of them. 2 reds, 2 blacks takes him 70 points in front with 67 on, so doesn't need to concern himself with the pack. Go into them off the last black. Well, from the first frame, the clearance he made, this has been a very good performance from Noppon.
And it's timely because he's back on immediately after this against David Gilbert. When you have those consecutive matches on one table, if you play well in the first, it really acts as a real fillip. Elevates the spirits.
$60. $60. $70.
So, as Stephen told us, the snooker is now required. In a best of 5, to be 2-0 down and 70-0 down
70.
is not the best place to be in. Of course, O'Connor is a real trier. He will continue. It's only one snooker needed. But to deny that Noppon Saengkham is on the brink of a very useful win, that would be ridiculous. Of course he is. Saengkham will be keen to knock a red in here and end it quickly. Wants to prevent any prevarication and messing around.
One frame in the
And
match.
indeed, as the
Nothing
red goes in, Joe O'Connor concedes. So, that was pretty good from Noppon Saengkham. A 56 clearance to pink in the first frame to steal it was obviously key. Then he followed up with 77 and 70. Noppon Saengkham defeats Joe O'Connor 3-0, and now Saengkham remains out in the main arena to take on Dave Gilbert next, coming your way in around 5 minutes' time.
So we're edging closer to the halfway stage of this Group 7 of the BetVictor Championship League, and this is how things currently stand. Zhao Guodong in the box seat, 2 matches played, 2 matches won. He's currently playing his 3rd match over on table 2 at the moment against Ricky Walden, who is also a player that is unbeaten so far. David Gilbert as well, 1 match played, 1 match won, but of course he's just about to take on Saengkham on our feature table on table 1. Zhou Yulong and Joe O'Connor at the foot of the table, both of them 2 matches played, 2 matches lost. Here's what's to come this evening. As I say, our next game is David Gilbert against Saengkham. That will then conclude on table 1 with back-to-back Dave Gilberts taking on Ricky Walden in the last, and back-to-back Zhao Guodongs on table 2, Ricky Walden and Joe O'Connor his opponents. And if you are just joining us and might be wondering why there is only 6 players in this group, it comes after the news of Jack Jones choosing to retire from the group earlier on today. Quite frankly, he's had enough. He's been here right from day 1, Group 1. He's played in every group. He lost in group finals, 4 group finals, in fact, a group semi-final as well. It's all got a bit too much for Jack, so he's decided to cut his losses and head back home to prepare for the German Masters next week. Saengkham, very, very impressive in that previous game against Joe O'Connor. Very quick 3-0 win. And quick is probably a key word, Pete, because they are long days here at Championship League, and I suppose conserving as much energy as possible and trying to give yourself a bit of momentum going into your next match is key.
Yeah, not easily done, but the easier you can win the matches, the less it takes out of you going forward. And a nice, impressive long red to start off with. A little bit fortunate with the kiss, but take what you can get at this game.
4.
Now, the thing that links both of these 2 players is that they both featured in Group 6, they both entered the fray in Group 6, and they both lost in the semi-finals of Group 6 as well. So I suppose they'll both be looking to try and go one better, try and book their place into the winners group. Of course, this Group 7 provides the last opportunity to do that.
12.
Left. Go. Round off 2 cushions. The red below the pack, or the one into the middle. Yeah, striking the ball with some authority.
20. Twenty-one.
Does the red bottom of the pack still pop? This pinky spotted. Not sure it does, which
27.
means if it doesn't, his next shot is going to have to be into the reds. Is he choosing to screw out of the reds here and open a few up, try and go out for a blue.
20.
He did, but he hasn't quite generated enough backspin.
Well, is there a plant at the back of the pack? He's coming round to look at it now. There's two reds that are set quite
20.
close to this right corner pocket.
Well, if there is, he's been very fortunate, because if there isn't, I think his break is over. It looks unmissable. Could develop another 2 or 3 reds as well. Just got to be careful with the positional side.
Well, what another stroke of fortune that was. If Dave Gilbert's probably blowing up in his chair. He can't believe the flick that he had at the start of this break, and then the fact that he's left this plant.
Doesn't want to be dead straight on this red.
36.
Now has he got the angle to get out for the pink? Pop the pink and stun off the back of the reds.
37.
Well, not from there. There's another plant available. Surely this is definitely break over. There's going to have to be some shot off the brown to go 2 cushions into the reds.
Well, you can always gauge what shot Nopon is going to play by the little wobble he does before he approaches the table. When he sets himself in that way, it usually means he's about to take something on, and
37.
that felt very risky.
Yeah, and again, he's been very fortunate, because the white was tracking into the pack and the green or brown has come and stopped the white stone dead in its tracks to leave nothing.
And Dave, you can guarantee we'll just be making a mental note of these little rubs that Nopon has had in this first frame already. So at least if it all goes pear-shaped at the end, he's got something to moan about in the players' lounge.
Plants galore, like a garden centre.
Probably be annoyed that he has not landed on a colour there. It was a well-found plant.
Dave Gilbert 1.
Yeah, I get the impression that Gilbert is going to go on the attack at every possible opportunity. Great cueing from Nopon, and a little bit fortunate again that the white has drifted to the side cushion. Tricky pot across the table.
One.
Struck it well.
They have met on 7 previous occasions throughout their career, Dave Gilbert and Nopon Saengkham. Nopon trailing the head-to-head 5-2. Of course, their most recent meeting came on Wednesday, actually, in Group 6. Noppon won that game 3 frames to 1, so Dave Gilbert will be wanting to rectify that.
You'd like to get an angle on the yellow if possible. Not available, I'm afraid, so it's going to be green off the side cushion. Probably try and develop the 3 reds in the middle of the table. Just misjudged the cannon slightly.
8. Dave Gilbert, 8.
Yeah, would love to have covered the 4 reds of the table and forced Noppon to have to develop the one on the side cushion. How does this red pot? Can he play this as a shot to nothing? Down for the brown if he pots it.
Even from that shot selection there, Dave just wanting no part in a slow frame, a slow match, trying to get all the awkward balls into the open. Might be right about Dave going out on the attack, although it's very early days in this group. He's only played the 1 match earlier on against Joe O'Connor. 1 match played, 1 match won for Dave, so he doesn't want to push the boat out too much and jeopardise his group position.
Yeah, I think this is more of a personal preference. Dave's been struggling this season a little bit mentally, personally, and I think I was talking to him earlier, and he said he absolutely loved playing in the last group, Group 6, because it had just had loads of entertaining players, loads of players that like to play exactly the same style that he likes to play open. He said all the matches were quick, everyone just went for their shots, and he absolutely loved it. Although that's a little bit risky to say the least, that shot. Don't even think Murphy would have gone for that one, and he goes for everything.
Yeah, I can see what Dave means actually about that Group 6. It was a very, very attractive group on paper, and it certainly lived up to it. I think any group was going to struggle to live up to that one. So that mistake from Dave has let Noppon in very, very cheaply here. Already with a healthy advantage in this frame, 29 points, 31 when the yellow disappears. The Reds in open play to win at this visit.
Although he wouldn't mind that shot again. That's not the best shot he's ever played. Sort of landed in no man's land. He should get this red into the green pocket, but he's played on the red into the middle pocket and fallen a foot short. Just about wriggled in and
9.
edging closer to the winning line in this frame.
Well, for what seemed a very simple break when he came to the table, he's taken the scenic route here, not on. Cuba's travelled a fair way around the table.
$70.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if even though Dave Gilbert only needs one snooker, if he doesn't even bother, although where the red is positioned next to the yellow, this is a guaranteed snooker if you can get a chance.
Up on Saengkham, 70.
Yeah, I don't think Noppaners give that enough thought. You know, if anything, he's going to go for a pot. He should have gone for the one near the yellow just to move it out of the way.
But there is the concession. Dave Gilbert wanting no part in the rest of that one, so Noppon Saengkham continuing on from where he left off from his previous match. Taking the opener against David Gilbert, he leads 1-0. Breaks of 56, 77 and 70 in his previous match were more than good enough to take a 3-0 victory over Leicester's very own Joe O'Connor, and Noppon Saengkham is continuing on with that form.
Second frame.
He's taken the opener against David Gilbert, leads 1-0. Ricky Walden in action over on table 2. 2-1 up currently over table topper at the moment, Zhao Gudong. Table 2, of course, as always, available over on the Matchroom Multisport YouTube channel. He's always been very comfortable in this sort of format, Dave Gilbert. He won the ranking event version of this back in 2021. So it's a format that seems to suit him. These events aren't easy to win either. There's a lot of snooker to be played, and quite often the players can be relying on other results as well, depending on their own results, and there's always a lot of permutations at play, but you tend to see the same old faces come the winners group. We've got some serious big hitters involved: Kyron Wilson, Judd Trump, Mark Selby. The players are playing for a top prize of £10,000, but it's not really about that. They would have accumulated a lot of prize money along the way getting to that stage. And of course the spin-offs for winning it, a place in the Champion of Champions as well. Dave Gilbert with a speculative attempt at that double.
Has he left a shot to nothing? This red bar around the back of the black, possibly. In fact, he's gone for the long red, and I think he's gone for the long red thinking if he finished lower down and got on the black properly, he wouldn't leave anything, but because he's caught the red far too thick, he's left the white a lot further up the table.
One.
Giving Gilbert this chance. I do think the red to the right and bottom of the pack may pop, and he could use that to open the rest of the reds up.
Eight. Nine.
Yeah, and there you go. That's exactly the shot I was talking about.
He really does have one of the best cue actions in the game, David Gilbert. You watch just how flowy he is when he's at the table, really gets that cue moving. That type of shot, the red that he played into the reds, he makes it look so easy to generate the pace and spin that he got on the ball. He really does have a lot of cue speed through the shot with very minimal effort.
This is where he's at his best normally. Anybody that's practiced with Dave knows how devastating he is in amongst the balls.
20.
I believe Mark Selby himself even says that Gilbert is the best person he's ever seen
26.
in practice.
And that's a slight compliment.
Let that one slip away slightly.
32.
Just as we watch Dave go about his business, Ricky Walden closing in on a 3-1 victory over Zhao Gudong. He's played very well over on table 2, Ricky Walden. He's played very well all day, actually. He's going to be 2 matches from 2, but really it's 3 matches from 3 because he did play the first match against Jack Jones. Of course, Jack pulled out, so that point doesn't count, but Ricky will actually get the prize money still for that win, so it's been a clean sweep so far for Ricky Walden.
30.
Only 2 frames dropped as well, so very, very good stuff.
$81. 82.
46. Dave Gilbert, 46.
Gilbert getting the split right. Not really putting a right lot of thought into the safety either. Oh dear. Is that to run? Is that to run? I don't think it has.
Now decision time for Noppon. Do you just drag this in the full length of the table and try and hold for the black?
Well, looks a little bit too thin to try and hold nicely on the black, but that's what he's played.
1.
Oh, the shot for me, but if he's on the pink into the middle, again, he's been very fortunate. He should have just played out, probably for the blue. Just get yourself into open play and deal with it after that, but he's got this tricky black now, and no guaranteed position again. Yeah, and there you go. I think that's poor shot choice from Noppon.
8.
Does this red still cut? No, just a safety.
No,
So
Saengkham,
very
8.
relieved Dave Gilbert.
That's the difference there as well. The safety shot that Dave played, as you say, he gave no real thought to it. Noppon really trying to nail Dave in behind that yellow, cut off access down the left side. He's clearly left a thin edge though. Yeah, that's a very nice return.
Do you think he'll be happy with that one? Yeah, Gilbert's turned to be fortunate there. He's trying to get that white under the baulk cushion. Definitely not in behind the yellow, but he'll take that. 38-point lead. But in all sorts of trouble. Because even the 3 reds on the black cushion are in potable positions. What's he got here? What's he left? Yeah, I'm afraid that's no good.
1.
Quickly in amongst the black again. No messing around from
8.
Dave. He's down on the shot before Tatiana's even got the black out of the pocket.
I was going to say, it's very brisk pace this that Dave Gilbert's playing out. He's set his stalls right from the off. He's got one game plan here and it's all out attack.
40. 50.
Yep, that black was frame ball. 16 from,
20.
59 on. This to secure it.
20. 30. 31. 38.
Well, a quick
Gilbert,
fire.
38. And
38 from Dave Gilbert, more than good enough to take the second frame. We're all square here in Leicester, 1 each. One apiece here on table 1 between David Gilbert and Noppon Saengkham. The third frame just about to get underway. These matches all best of
Frame
5,
three.
first to
Dave
3.
Gilbert.
One point for a win, of course, nothing for the loss, so both of these players could really do with getting the W from this match. Dave Gilbert has just played the 1 match prior, Noppon Saengkham 2, although both of them currently on 1 point. The second match has just begun over on table 2, Zhao Guodong taking on Joe O'Connor. That actually will be the final match of the session over on table 2, because Jack Jones's withdrawal has just shortened the number of matches available to get through.
Yeah, I think that is surely a must-win for Joe O'Connor. If he loses that, surely his Championship League is over. 3 defeats out of 3 it would be. He's only got 1 frame on the board at the moment as well.
Nice to see another one of my tips going well for the day, Pete.
I didn't want to say anything, but yeah, it's poor, mate.
I think what we can concur is whatever I say, you just don't listen. Useless information.
That's what your wife said. She doesn't listen to a word you say.
What, when I told her that Joe was going to win the group?
Yeah.
8. Touchable.
The big news.
9.
Now into the reds at pace. Get them far and wide. Little stun shot straight up to the left-hand side of the pack. Yeah, perfect. A little bit unlucky that the red just a fraction too much stun on it, but I think he has got one into the opposite
60.
corner, opposite centre.
Well, he's played that shot about as well as he could have, really. And deserved to be on something. He does have this red to middle, as you say. It's a little bit deceiving, though. They can be quite nippy, these middles. But he's played it nicely, and
70.
now, in potting that red, creates a brilliant chance for himself.
This is the modern game these days, just get the reds open as quick as possible. Try and win the frame in one visit.
Twenty.
The bounces. Misjudged that shot quite badly.
Yeah, and he'll be so disappointed with that. He's got so much room to play with there, Noppon, and from nowhere he's asked himself a question.
Yeah, I think as could naturally go in the middle pocket, he's having to dig down a little bit, which makes the shot even harder. And that is wide.
Noppon Saengkham 20.
Yeah, that is a quick ending to a promising situation for Noppon.
Dave Gilbert out of his chair like a train there. Can't believe he's back at the table. When he saw Noppon go into the reds, he might have been fearing the worst as he goes about business. There is Joe O'Connor on table 2. Back firmly up against the wall in the group at the minute, and shots like that are not going to help his cause.
Joe O'Connor 5.
2 matches played, 2 matches lost for Joe. He's frames won. He's only won the single, as Pete said. Lost 6, so with it all to do over on table 2.
Yeah, but a lovely frame, the 138.
It was the first frame of the day as well, wasn't it, for him? It was all rosy to begin with, and it's gone downhill pretty quickly. Ever since he snookered himself, actually, behind that red and gave away 9 penalty points.
50.
Well, if his practice game is anything to go by, David Gilbert, we may as well set these back up. This is a great chance, and a chance that he so often takes.
20.
Yeah, playing with a new cue as well, Gilb, at the moment. Just got himself a new cue from John Paris.
22.
I did think, is he using a new cue there? I had to double take for a moment because it looks very similar to my cue, the butt of it, the wood itself.
$29. 30. 37. 38.
Not hanging about. 38 already. Still in prime position.
Just on cues, Pete, and you'll probably know more than me about this. I can't remember ever a time where in the game so many players have chopped and changed cues so often. Has it always been this way, or?
No, never. Never ever. No, you know, people for the most part, especially from my era, had one cue and just stuck with that. But I think a lot of the cues now are all fairly similar, you know. They're not like with old cues, they were unique, whereas these, you can just chop and change them, trying to find one. Oh my word, just as Gilbert misses the easiest of blacks. Yeah, so people are doing it, you know, they're all striving for that little bit extra, and a lot of people are changing coaches, changing cues, changing practice venues, you know, they're all trying to strive for instant success. So much money at stake. Players don't want to get left behind. But what an absolute sitter that the Gilbert's just missed there.
8.
He missed a black earlier, didn't he, against Joe O'Connor? A black on a maximum as well on 97 from right behind it. That one was just as easy. Sarcastic comment from Dave saying shot Dave, but it was anything but. It was a terrible shot.
It's almost certainly going to cost him the frame. Ball's at mercy for Nop on Saengkham. In prone frame, the third bump. You know, if you win this, you're going to get 2 chances to win the match. That's the
23.
place Nopon didn't want to land, was almost level with the red. Got it into the corner, but More tricky than he would have wanted.
Yeah, and having to dig down as well makes this more missable. But he's played it
20.
well, and he's had a favourable kiss to the green. Sorry, to the yellow to still be on the green. Well, what a miss that could be from Dave Gilbert. It's looking almost certain now that it's going to cost him this frame. I can't imagine it will have done his mood any good either.
27. $29. 32. 36.
Yep, frame ball.
41.
It's an absolute gift. Noppon has accepted. Take a 2-1 lead.
And when your
47.
opponent makes
Right,
such
knock
an
on side.
easy mistake in the one that David Gilbert made, a black off the spot at any level should be very costly. Noppon Saengkham steps up and punishes him. He leads 2-1.
very swiftly, we've arrived at the last match of the evening here on Table 1. It's a movable feast, this Group 7 table. Right now, Noppon Saengkham is at the top, just above Xiaoguodong on frames won lost record. Ricky Walden, though, on 2 points as well. And that means if Walden were to beat Dave Gilbert in the upcoming match, then Walden would be in the playoffs. No ifs, buts or maybes. As for Table 2 right now, well, it's 1-0 at the moment to Joe O'Connor, but it will be 2-0 in a few moments. And so the picture just keeps on changing. As for Dave Gilbert here, well, if he can win this match, he's back in the reckoning as well.
Right. Dave Gilbert's a break.
Walden's got a lot to build on. He made breaks of 95 and 97 earlier in this session to beat Xiaoguodong 3-1. The 97 break, by the way, was glued together by an outrageous fluke, but nevertheless, I think considering he had that setback when he beat Jack Jones 3-0 first up this morning, and Jones then pulled out, erasing the match from the record, I think he's done well to win his next 2 matches and put himself in line for a playoff place, Peter.
Yeah, absolutely. Every credit. But I did say at the start of the day, I think Ricky's come here to really try and win the whole thing. Well, I think he's come into it with the right attitude, and he's going to try. He's going to play properly. He's going to try and win. It'll be interesting to see what Dave Gilbert does here after losing the last match.
Well, I wasn't commentating, but I was watching. It seemed to me as though he was quite loose, made a few mistakes that you simply can't afford to make.
Yeah, very much so in all aspects. I don't think he gave a lot of thought to any of his safety shots. I think he's just decided he's going to try and pop balls, and if they go in, he'll win, and if they don't, he won't. Which could make him dangerous or easy to pick off.
4 previous meetings in the Championship League between these two. Gilbert has won 3 of them.
Who's defending champ in this, Phil?
Well, Selby defeated Joe O'Connor in the overall final last year, so he could go back-to-back with the carrot of a champion of champions place hanging.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? People talk about formats and the number of frames, and it's a lottery when it's best of 5 or best of 7 or best of 9, but top players are the top players, aren't they? No matter what format gets put in front of them, they find ways to win.
One thing we can say is that given the field here now for Group 7, it looks as though the odds are stacked in favour of another new entry to the Champion of Champions. We've had 6 counting tournaments so far, 6 different winners. In this, the only player left in the tournament in the winners group already qualified is Judd Trump. So basically, when you get a lot of different winners of tournaments, that means that those down the foot of the pecking order, you might win a tournament and not squeeze in. Whereas some years, if you get a lot of multiple winners, players winning 4, 5, 6 times or whatever, you fill up that 16-player field at the Champion of Champions off the rankings. So, Peter, you could win the World Seniors and find yourself on the outside looking in. Just your luck. I know that's what you're thinking.
Story of my life. I didn't get in the year I won the World Seniors.
Well, I feel bad now because I'd forgotten that.
Oh, cheers, Phil. Back to the hotel to sulk for me for the evening.
Of course, we don't know what the priority list is yet, but let's put it this way. There are more than 16 qualifying tournaments. Now, Xiao Guodong has done there what he did in the group. Made a good start, this time to frame 3. He won his first 2 matches in the opening session. 3-1 against Zhou Yulong, then against Noppon Saengkham. But tonight, he's only won 1 frame out of 6 played thus far. Just before we get into this, the 6 players qualified for the Champion of Champions already. Well, the winner of the event this season, Mark Williams, UK champion Judd Trump, shootout winner Tom Ford, Scottish Open winner Lei Pei Fan, Riyadh season Masters winner Mark Allen, and of course, last week's Masters champion Shaun Murphy.
Yeah, I thought Karen had won something, but
What?
was that for the for last year's Champion of Champions?
Yeah, pre-Champion of Champions.
Right. Oh, so he's not in anything yet.
Yeah, so only 16 slots, and when you think 6 are taken already, and then before the end of this season, you got the winner of this, German Masters, Welsh Open, World Open, World Grand Prix, Players' Championship, Tour Championship, and not only the winner of the World Championship, but also the runner-up there as well, plus Women's World Championship and World
8.
Seniors, and that's even before the early part of next season begins. Dave Gilbert is not a happy camper.
No, he's not at the races at the moment, I'm afraid. His body language is not looking good.
Gilbert would love to regain the form that saw him beat Walden in last year's Group 5 in the Championship League. Made an 82, a 74 and a 57. They've been playing each other, these two, in pro competitions for 19 years. Their first ever meeting, Walden won 5-1 in the last 64 of the old Malta Cup. Their most high-profile meeting, a quarter-final of the English Open in 2019. Gilbert 1-5-4. Good match, that one.
Open up the reds around the black. He is, but he's caught it too thick and he's swung the white into the pink, which looks a disaster. But when you look at the blue, pink and black now, it's going to be hard to score unless you can somehow get that black open or the pink back on its spot, which doesn't look likely from this first shot.
One.
Gilbert's really fluid cue action enables him to get quite a lot of action on the cue ball when he's using the rest, not dissimilar to Karen Wilson. David Hendon was telling me earlier this week, Peter, Sean Murphy with the rest at the Masters, 51 attempts to pot balls, 51 knocked in.
Yeah, very impressive. And how well did Sean play all week? Absolutely magnificent. And I mean, a really good guy and a really great ambassador for snooker. And just I mean, to me personally, he's one of the greatest sights to watch around a snooker table. He just looks so good, so entertaining, so fluent. Yeah, just magnificent to watch and really good to see him lift the title.
Six.
And it always seems with Murphy that when he wins one very impressively. No one could have played any better than he did when he won the Players' Championship in 2023. It was almost a joke. He was combining simply brilliant potting from distance with such heavy scoring. He played nicely to win the Tour Championship subsequently, but nothing was better than the Players.
Yeah, I think it's just, yeah, the style of play that he plays. I think he has to play well to win with the style of play that he plays, but when he does play well, it just looks magnificent.
30.
And when he won the World Championship as a qualifier in 2005, that was a revelation. There was nothing particularly special in his first round victory over Chris Small, I recall. Small was suffering from the physical issues that ultimately led to his retirement, but thereafter Murphy was brilliant considering his lack of experience as well.
90.
Wow, Dave snookered himself. I think he must have done. He snookered himself on the red he's played on. I wouldn't be surprised to see Dave miss this red with the rest. I think at the moment the frustration is definitely getting the better of Dave. Yeah, I mean, I know Dave's had his and still got off the table problems, but as a friend 26. Of his and an admirer of the way he plays, I hope he can get all that put behind him, if not for this season, for next season, and try and
27.
Get his snooker back on track to the Dave Gilbert that was one frame away from the World Final a couple of seasons ago.
Well, he's one of those players who is outside the top 16, but if he got inside the top 16, no one would bat an eyelid. Classical cue action.
$33. 34.
And of course, your time at the top or near the top in this game isn't limitless. It's not infinite. He's past 40 now, so while he can still do it,
40.
you would advise him to knuckle down, wouldn't you?
Absolutely. There was a time
40.
when middle 30s was considered over the hill.
Well, I started covering snooker in the autumn of 1988, and one of the first big stories was Doug Mountjoy winning the UK Championship that year at the age of 46. And back then, it was as though an old age pensioner had won it. Now, of course, the class of 92, Mark Williams, Ronnie O'Sullivan, John Higgins are at that age. Plenty of other successful 40-somethings in the game as well. But when Mountjoy won the UK for the second time, 10 years after his first triumph, it was a massive tale.
47.
Who is the oldest winner of a ranking event?
Ray Reardon continues to hold that record. 50 he was.
50. That's going to get beaten, I think.
Thank you, Dave.
Yeah, fully agree.
Foul.
Well, he's fouled the cue
David,
ball there.
37.
Was it the cue ball? I think so.
Walden, 4.
Yeah, I think he's feathered the white, queuing up.
Thank you, Dave. Foul. Dave Gilbert, 47.
This would be an absolute killer if you could somehow find a clearance. Looks unlikely where the balls are, and it definitely does now, because that's break over.
Yeah, just going back to the age thing, Walden's another player in his 40s. I think the greatest performance in terms of defying age has to be Fred Davis, 1978 World Championship. He got to the semi-finals at the age of 64. And anyone who watched that match will know he might well have been in the final. Oh, as Walden gives away 6 points he can ill afford.
Yeah, did he miss a easy pink to I don't know, to win or to go to the decider or something? I know it was close.
Yeah, it was a close match against Perry Manns, and he missed a really vital ball.
The very loose safety shot from Gilbert. I think, hasn't David Hendon recently done a 10 most costly misses or something in put on his podcast?
Yeah, Dave's podcast, I think, is phenomenal. He's so in-depth, he's got so much knowledge about the game, and it's a really good listen.
Was TK's pink in there? TK had a pink in the World Semi, didn't he, that he missed rolling in for the black against Thorburn?
That's right. Oh, what a beautiful shot that was. OK, the red was close to the pocket, but don't be confused. That was a tough pot, and now it's going to be 1-0 for sure.
That was a Lovely shot.
8. Nine.
Given the fact that it cost him a sports car worth £88,000, the final black that Ken Doherty missed in the Masters final against
Yeah.
Matthew Stevens for a 147, that was pretty costly.
17.
Jimmy's black in the world in the decider.
Yeah, a shot that
21.
will reverberate in snooker history forevermore. This frame won't,
Gilbert 21 and the frame.
but Gilbert wins it. Dave Gilbert against Ricky Walden. Two fine players,
second
fluent
frame.
players,
Ricky Walden to break.
two ranking event winners, 4 ranking titles between them, 3 for Walden, 1 for Gilbert. He won the ranking version of the Championship League 4 years ago now. Similar in style. As for this match, well, it could be very important in determining who is in the playoffs. Of course, both could be in the semis, but I think if Walden were to win this, he would be in. If Gilbert wins, well, then he's looking okay.
One.
Yeah, I think the 2 frames on the other table could go a long way to determine who makes the semi-finals. I think if Zhao Guodong can come back and win the match, I think it will almost certainly put paid to Joe O'Connor, and with Zhou Yulong struggling on 2 defeats out of 2, those two could be heading out pretty quickly.
7.
Trying to free the black.
8.
Did, but just a little bit too much screw on the cue ball.
Round ball.
So the story on table 2 so far, Joe O'Connor took a 2-0 lead over Zhao Guodong, made an 80 break in the second frame, but O'Connor didn't score in the third. So it's 2-1, not a ball potted yet in frame 4.
Shot. Walden. Just nestling in the back of the Reds.
Of course, when we were talking about those costly misses, we forgot perhaps the most costly of the lot, when Steve Davis missed the final black against Dennis Taylor in '85. You were telling me, Peter, that Tony Knowles is out in Morocco playing in the World Snooker Federation Championship, essentially the World Amateur.
Yeah, he's gone out there. I think Tony would love to get his tour card back. I'm not sure just how realistic it is, but you've got to admire him. He still loves his snooker after all this time.
One.
Oh, and everyone loves that shot, apart from Dave Gilbert.
Not everyone did. Yeah, Tony Knowles.
Yeah, there used to be a phrase on the snooker circuit. It was used very, very commonly, maybe 10, 15 years ago. Every shot pleases someone.
Eight.
Not heard that phrase for years.
No. Can he drop behind the black for black into the same pocket? The answer is no. That's another misjudged from Walden. Now, will he? I think if this was Gilbert's shot, he'd be attempting the black into the middle pocket. Not sure Walden will, but we'll see. Yeah, he's giving it a go. He's got to get this. Oh, and every credit. Now then, could quite easily decide to power this red in that's below the plat.
60.
Blue is hanging over the pocket. Split the reds far and wide. One good shot here and it could be a frame winner. No, he's not playing it.
70.
Not playing it. Didn't leave the angle so he could play it this shot either, so
24.
now he's going to have to get a nice angle on the black and trust the luck a little bit with the split.
$25.
Various ways to go into the bunch. Off the top cushion first, I think, is the toughest. He's made a really good job of that. But a perfect illustration, Peter, of what I was telling you earlier. These balls have spread so nicely when you've gone into them this week, and there's no coincidence we've seen so many centuries. That's one of the major reasons.
Yeah, and he didn't even really give that maximum power. He's terrific shot. Very well controlled. Got to turn it into a frame winner though now.
$40.
Yeah, and he'll be a bit disappointed with that shot. Definitely played on the blue. There's a lot more tricky shot on the yellow. Judge it off 2 cushions to come back down for the reds. With the 2 reds that are in the open, and there you go.
Ricky Walden 40.
To only score 7 more points after that split is, yeah, not good.
Well,
Could have been worse.
6.
Dangerously close to the middle pocket.
$7.
Does the bottom red pot of those 3? If it does, it will open up the other 2. If it doesn't, it'll have to be a cannon. Well, Dave's already queuing
40.
up for this shot. Oh, the
Dave
balls
Gilbert,
had even
40.
stopped rolling. He was absolutely disgusted with his previous black.
Well, he's known as the angry farmer, isn't he, Dave Gilbert? It's because while he was trying to pursue a career in snooker before he became successful, he used to work with his father in forestry and planting potatoes, that kind of thing. So he knows what real work is. I noticed on the World Snooker website, so as not to annoy him, they describe him as the farmer. The angry doesn't appear, but that's his name. He's fine with it. I think it's quite a good nickname, that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't know whether this will stick, but a new nickname was offered for Jack Jones this week, considering the amount of centuries he'd made. The Centurion. I think it's a cracker, that.
Oh, that was close. Did you have a nickname, Phil, when you were a young cueist?
No, I didn't deserve one. Had a few names called when I was playing, but you couldn't say they were nicknames. Just derogatory terms that were appropriate, I suppose.
Did you play the league snooker where you were?
Oh yeah, very much so. Yeah, in the West Midlands and the Pro-Am circuit.
The West Midlands, actually, they have a pretty strong amateur scene, because I think they won the. I think they've won it more than once, but they have like a like a inter-counties, like snooker leagues thing, yeah. And I'm sure the West Midlands won it because I recognised a couple of the players, Rob James and Daniel Ward. They come to, yeah, because I've seen them playing in it. It was held at my club.
Yeah, for many years the West Midland League had 8 divisions. Then there was, in my area, the Starbridge, Alzone, Dudley Leagues, all that kind of stuff. One of the big things was playing in the Midland Amateur Championship, which is a really historic tournament that Dave Gilbert actually has won.
Yeah, we have a similar thing, the Yorkshire Championship, and the record number of victories, I think it's 13, was held by John Dunning.
Yeah, I remember John very well.
You got to a final of a ranking event.
He did, and it was a 3-man final.
Correct.
That format was contrived. It really was very complex. Of course, the winner of the event, it was in the early 80s, was inevitably Steve Davis.
What competition was it? Was it the Yamaha?
8.
I think it was called the British Gold Cup, something like that.
Okay, yeah. And do you remember the third finalist?
You know, I always have remembered it, and I can't quite bring it to mind, but give me a few minutes and I will do.
Okay. Because I do know it. Only because John Dunning's my neck of the woods. Well, I say I know it. I think I know it.
Nine.
He wasn't a household name. Was it Doug French?
No.
Give me a clue, Peter.
I'm not sure I could. You're right. Well, you were right with it not being a household name, but I'm not. To be honest, I'm not even sure where he's from. To be honest, I'm not sure I could give you a clue.
Go on, tell me.
I think it was Dave Martin.
Dave Martin from the northeast of England. It was.
Yeah, Walden edging closer to this frame now. A blue and one more red. Oh my word.
Ricky Walden. 15.
Now then, I wouldn't be surprised to see Gilbert take the red down into the yellow pocket with the blue hanging over the opposite corner. It could free the tricky red. Yeah, here we go. If he gets this, he's got a chance. Oh, and he's nowhere near.
Not in the same postcode as the pocket there. That was a very feeble attempt.
Now can Walden get closer to this one? He's gone for the cut. I think he's overcut it. Yes, just. But no damage done.
After the sparkling snooker of the first 4 days this week, this match is a little flat.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the end of that. I think it's the Group 7 effective final group. It's your last chance saloon, isn't it? I think a lot of the players are struggling to find their best form. There's no second chance after tomorrow.
So Walden 34 in front. He won't be playing anything ambitious here. Snooker required by Dave Gilbert. If the last red goes in, he most
5.
certainly will give up. He might give up if the red doesn't go in. We'll never know.
6. Yeah. And the frame.
He concedes
Ricky
now
Walden.
from his chair. It's not been brilliant snooker by any means. Lots of mistakes, rather scrappy. The first 2 frames have been shared. BetVictor Championship League Snooker Group 7. It is
The
day
first
1, winding
Don't go
down
with-
actually. The final matches on both tables are in progress. On table 2, Joe O'Connor leading Zhao Guodong 2-1, but in a moment or so, Zhao will force a decider. Here, undistinguished, an equal.
Yeah, Ricky had this red in a previous match and refused it and then left it, and he's done it again. Now, can Gilbert knock this in? Yeah, I'm
What?
a little bit surprised with a couple of Ricky's shot choices, refusing that red. If you do decide to play safe, you've got to make sure you cover that red, if no others. That's a straightforward pot for
8.
these top professionals.
Nine.
I can tell you Zhao Guodong is on level terms with Joe O'Connor at 2-2. And if Zhao can complete his recovery from 2-0 down to win 3-2, he will be the first player to ink his passage to the semi-finals.
13. $14.
Now will Dave play into the reds or well, red on the side cushion? It looks like it's into the reds. Yeah, not blessed in the cue power department, but did have enough zip on the cue ball to pull that red
20.
back out again with it.
$22.
That's a really nicely controlled shot
Gilbert loves to build breaks. He loves to be at the table scoring.
26.
I think the rest of the game sometimes he can suffer, but it's a hindrance to him, really. He just wants to be out there knocking in balls.
27.
Fortunately, there's lots of aspects to being a good snooker player.
And of course, here is the ironic rub about all this. His attitude to the game is very attacking, always has been, presumably always will be.
30.
He likes to score heavily, doesn't like to hang around. And yet he's the joint holder of the slowest ever frame in snooker history. 2 hours and 3 minutes against Fergal O'Brien. Decider, final qualifying round of the World Championship. They were on the yellow
40.
for something like half an hour. You won't like that positional shot. You won't take a half an hour over this. Yeah, really loose positional shot
Dave Gilbert 40.
to snooker himself on the intended red behind the pink.
Yeah, and that was just pure frustration going for that pot. Absolute gift for Ricky Walden.
One.
Now can he capitalise? He got a chance against Yu Long earlier when he was 60 down, an absolute gift, and he pounced on it. Can he do the same again?
8.
Shot could open most of the reds up.
9.
Yeah, that's nice.
Style all his own, Walden. Tall man,
40.
but quite a compact cue action. The waggles are also characteristic of him. Few others.
$15.
Yeah, spent a few years in the doldrums, didn't he, when he was, I think he had back trouble. And taken him quite a while to get back playing well again.
Yes, it was at a time when he was quite a high-powered player. The family had just returned from holiday, I think in Florida. Got the cases out the car and the back went. And although he was able to play snooker and play matches, he wasn't able to play in practice for
20.
any length of time. And of course, you have to invest on the practice table.
Yeah, absolutely.
22.
Most of the damage is done on the practice table. All the hard work, almost hour after hour. That's where it counts. When you get into the match arena, how much hard work you've put in day after day.
29.
Well, guess who's got the first chance in the decider on table two? Zhao Guodong. Joe O'Connor in Group 6 on Wednesday and Thursday. In the round-robin phase, he played 20 frames and he won 18 of them. What a difference a day makes.
Yeah, still a bit of work to do here for Walden, but he's back in the game.
37.
3 behind. He's going to need all 4 reds. And high value colours.
38.
The red to the left of the 3 reds will pot in the middle. Doesn't fancy going into them. And then that could possibly free up the one closest to it.
45.
Just giving that pink a little nudge.
46.
Could have just helped him out.
Yeah, being on the incorrect side of the blue means he will leave some distance on the pot on the penultimate red. This is missable.
Yeah, and also if the last red doesn't pot anywhere,
51.
he's going to have to get an angle on something to get it out now. I think the only possible chance it pots is in the left middle. But he's left the perfect angle just to give it a little nudge, so he's one shot from victory. Just catch this pink half ball and promote the red towards the middle pocket. Something like that. Absolutely perfect.
59.
And of course, in Walden's position, with 2 points on the board already in this 6-player group, it's not just only about winning the match. Every frame he wins
60.
is potentially valuable.
Yeah. This black will put him 27 in front with 27 on. And that, Phil, looks like the end of that.
67.
Well, this isn't
69.
going to be Walden's highest break of the day. But I tell you what, I think it's his best. And arguably his
76.
most important.
$76.
But you have to say, without being critical, I think Gilbert would be the first
80.
to agree. He was the architect of his own downfall. He took on a shot he should never have even contemplated.
87 on the frame, Ricky Walden.
Left the red, and Walden did the rest to take a 2-1 lead. One more frame needed, and he will be in the playoffs.
The 4th frame.
Ricky Walden has got every right, fully
Ricky
entitled
Walden.
to feel good after that very nice clearance from 40 adrift to take a 2-1 lead over a rather disgruntled Dave Gilbert, body language in his chair, Peter, screams, "Get me out of here."
Yeah, anything could happen now in this frame with Dave. Absolutely anything. It's been interesting to see just how much fight he's got left in him. That's a decent enough safety. I mean, yeah, if you could somehow win these last 2 frames, come back and win the match, still be in a great position heading into tomorrow.
Foul. Dave Gilbert.
Well, one thing we do know for definite, Zhao Guodong is going to be in the playoffs. 2-0 down against Joe O'Connor on table 2. He's turned on the Jets to win 3-2. He's on a break at the moment in the decider. He knocked in one phenomenal pot from distance to keep the break going. And so O'Connor, with 3 defeats out of 3, he's really struggling. But Zhao Guodong, he will be in the semi-finals. He's won 3, lost 1. And regardless of what happens in this match, overnight, Zhao Guodong will top the Group 7 table.
One.
That's a thread from Walden. What sort of angle he's got to get back out for a red. Yeah, pretty good. He's made quite a few mistakes today as Ricky Walden, but he's also played some
8.
pretty good stuff as well.
Yeah, I think 2 clearances, the one you mentioned earlier and the one we've just seen, they'll be the thing that gives him most pleasure. He did actually play very nicely in his first match. Breaks of 58, 102 and 91, but that was against Jack Jones. Walden won 3-0 in the first match of the day on table 2, and Jones promptly withdrew. So that counted for nothing for Walden, apart from the £300 won.
101.
Didn't count for the revised group standing, so I think he's done really well
103.
to be here. And talking about doing well, so is Zhao Guodong. He's just made his 4th century of the day.
106.
60.
Yeah, and a crucial time. Joe O'Connor, a very poor day for him.
110.
What a great
70.
chance for Ricky Walden to put himself through to the next stage.
115.
Guarantee, will this guarantee Ricky Walden a semi-final place?
Yeah, I think so.
121.
22.
120.
In 7-man groups, if you get 3 points, you're well on the way to the playoffs. So in a 6-man group, 3 points should make you safe and sound.
Yeah, just as we say that, Ricky's left himself a little bit awkward. He has got a couple of reds. He's got one into the green pocket and one into the middle pocket, but neither of them easy. One into the green pocket looks the best bet. If he can just stop it for the pink into the same centre pocket. Is it there? He stayed down. It looks wide. It looks wide.
Ricky Walden.
Yeah, it never looked
22.
in. I mean, he sort of gestured that it rolled off a little bit, but it never looked in to me. Now then, has Dave Gilbert got anything left? Can he find some battling qualities?
8. Nine. $60. 17. 23.
Still quite a bit of work to do, Dave, to win this frame at this visit.
24.
That's only just sneaked in, so we'll have to play for the red into the green pocket next.
$29.
Oh dear.
Dale Gilbert,
Dear,
29.
oh dear. Saving grace is he hasn't left the red that he's just missed. There's a pot on, but far from easy to the right and black pocket. Can he pot it and stun through the gap for the black?
1.
Answer is yes, he can. That was nicely controlled.
One.
And that's pretty good. Bottom red will pot.
8.
I felt genuinely sorry for Ricky Walden this morning when Jones pulled out. So what he's done here, I think, has been very professional. OK, he's not pulled up any trees in terms of the standard he's produced. He's not been bad by any means. But to get 3 wins after that, if he wins this frame, that would be noteworthy. But he's not on the black. He's clearly not able to pot the pink. So there's an enormous amount of work to be done before he can claim victory.
And now, will he go for the blue? If it was in practice, I'm almost certain he would. Gotta get it. I think the thing that's not in his favour, though, is where the red is positioned towards the left-hand side cushion. He can't get his bridge in the right place. That's why he's played the green, and that's a terrific shot.
He's not shone, as you know, Peter, when it comes to recovery pots to bulk pockets from distance
12.
today. I think that was perhaps the highlight in that regard.
Absolutely. And at a crucial time. Oh, that's another nice shot. Now he's got a nice angle to decide what he wants to do. I think he might actually stun into the pink. That would open everything up. Oh, well, the bottom red goes. That's even better. No work to do. Just run this through again.
20.
Oh, I thought he'd missed it. I think he thought he'd missed it.
28.
over the line. Yeah, there's still quite a bit of work to do. 17 in front. It's not ideal on either of these two reds. I think it's probably the one closest to the cushion in the open that he's going to take, not the one near the pink. He will elect to screw back down the table here in attempting this pot.
Cheers, Rick. Thank you.
Yeah, they're not going in clean, Phil, but they're going in.
29.
Want it to be a little differently on the blue.
Yeah, he may well take the green. He could stun run through the green, just to leave it slightly below the green spot for the red in bulk. 18 in front. He could still win the game then with two reds, two big colours, without having to pot the one on the side cushion.
Yeah, no guarantees of any good position off the blue, so the green makes total sense.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be happy with that though when the green gets spotted. He's going to be slightly hampered, which means now
32.
not much possibility of him getting down the table for the black. Which means with a 19-point lead, he's going to need all three reds.
$33.
Second prize, the angle on the blue to dislodge red and pink.
You know, he's got a bit of a choice to make now, though. He's a bit thin on the blue. He could, I mean, he could even play for the red on the side cushion first. More difficult pot, but he would guarantee a perfect angle on the black, because he could play into the red and pink, and if he doesn't get on the red, he'll probably find himself worse off. Don't be surprised if he plays on the side cushion. Well, that's what he's played, and he's at 6 to 8 inches short
38.
of pace, so there's still hope for Gilbert.
Yes, if several colours were really awkward, Walden would be sitting pretty here, but there's nothing awkward.
Ricky Walden. 38.
Yeah, and he hasn't got the cover, so an attempted shot to nothing from Gilbert. If he pots this, yeah, way too thin, but much better than being too thick. Just probably try to drop on this as slow as possible. Yeah, pretty good. Well, surely he's not going for the pot.
Well, after the red he went 4 on 40 in the previous frame, I suppose we shouldn't be surprised.
And then can Walden knock this in? Just off the side cushion for one of the bulk colours. It was close. Well, that is a magnificent shot. That is exactly what he's played. He's played to catch the cushion first, to drop the red down the rail and into the pocket. That is Dave Gilbert's best shot of the day. Can he follow it with one more? Oh, can he? I think he can get through, Phil.
7.
And these pockets across the cushions have been very welcoming.
Eight.
Well, not sure how that dropped, but it has. And we could be looking at a decider.
Yes, and what an important one it would be. 14 adrift,
15.
so he needs the lot.
Yeah, and you can bet when Ricky Walden left the table and left it hampered over the top of the green that he didn't think for 1 second he wouldn't get another
80.
shot in this frame.
$22.
Well, I think the second to last red alone deserves to
27.
win any frame.
$33.
The black knot on its spot, but you can't see it going astray.
40 and the frame.
He wasn't
good.
playing well, Dave Gilbert. He was going for some questionable shots, but suddenly pulls the 4th frame out of the fire, and if he can win the decider as well, he'll be on 2 points, and those semi-final playoffs tomorrow night will be a lot closer. For the first time today, here on table 1, a match has gone the distance. And that's because Dave Gilbert from nowhere cleared the last 2 reds to snatch frame 4 on the black. So 2-2, Gilbert and Ricky Walden. In fact, on table 2 today of the 4 matches played, only 1 went the distance there. As for the league table, while Ricky Walden is out, let me tell you that Joe Godong is top with 3 points. Nopon Saengkham and Ricky Walden have 2. Dave Gilbert 1.
Dave Gilbert's a break.
Joe O'Connor and Joe Yulong still to get off the mark. So, clearly, this is crucial.
This time, with the black tied up, I don't think Ricky needs to play this pot on this red. Play the defensive safety and drop the white onto the black cushion. Not gaining any advantage, but not doing any damage either. Now, let's see what Gilbert's approach is now. He's managed to hang in there and level this match up. This frame could go a long, long way to deciding whether Gilbert appears in the semi-finals tomorrow evening.
Well, I would think that both Joe Yulong and Joe O'Connor would be hoping that Walden wins it.
Yeah, absolutely. Every result pleases someone, Phil.
Yeah, you see there? A derivation of that phrase they used to say, every shot pleases someone.
Here's having a go. Got to cue it well. So, it looks like Walden is probably going to put the first ball of this crucial decider. Not happy with that one.
One.
And just that rub off the red. Worked out ideally.
That's come up a treat for Ricky Walden, and I think putting this red, he'll be able to put the pink back on its own spot. And it could be just a series of little stun shots to build up a useful lead.
Seven. Thirty.
Sure. What Ricky played on there, he left a very delicate shot into the middle pocket here. Yeah, but
40.
he's played it well. That was missable. Especially in the decider.
Walden knows how to cope with pressure. He's captured 3 ranking titles.
20.
2014 International Championship. 2012 Wuxi Classic. And the first one, the breakthrough, Shanghai Masters, when it did count for the rankings in 2008.
Yeah, I think, not mistaken, as well, didn't he beat a whole host of top players en route to one of those?
Well, the Shanghai, it was ludicrous. He beat Steve Davis, Stephen Hendry,
26.
Neil Robertson, Mark Selby and Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Magnificent. Doesn't get much tougher than that. The shot needs to be cued well. And get the white back out. Oh, he's played it lovely. Delicate little cannon on the red just to hold for the pink.
Yeah, I'm not saying he cheated the pocket. I don't think he's that good. But actually, by hitting into that right-hand jaw there, that gave him just the angle he needed.
Yeah, perfect. Lovely shot. And now when this red goes in, it will free
30.
path for the pink, make it a lot easier. Just a series of little stun shots, and
34.
I fear the worst for Dave Gilbert.
Yeah, the snooker gods don't forgive when he took on that, well, let's face it, ridiculous cut on the red on 40 in frame 3. He was asking for trouble.
Yeah, ludicrous shot selection. Just pure frustration for Dave. And one I'd like to say that he probably regrets now, but I'm not sure he does. I think that's part of his problem. Seven lead, still in
47.
really good position. I wonder if the red at the bottom of those 3 pots, if it does, I think it could be all over. If it doesn't, I think he's still going to need one really good positional shot.
Yes, Ricky. Okay. 48.
And he'd like to have come a little bit further out into the table for this pink. This pink is definitely missable. It's easy to push this onto the far knuckle. If this works out though, into those 4 reds, and yeah, and there you go, it hasn't worked out. Yeah, he just
54.
needed one more good shot. Just caught that first red slightly too thick. Even the safety shot now is not that easy.
Yeah, the key here is to cope with the disappointment of surrendering position and try and play the best possible safety. But as you say, not a great amount of options there.
Yeah, doesn't really want to just drop on the reds, because he definitely doesn't want to leave a touching ball so Gilbert can just play down the table. Can't cover the red closest to the pocket. Really sure what he can do.
Walden. 54.
All of his problems would have been solved there had it been a touching ball. Could see some cat and mouse here.
You see that thing where the player that's 50 behind offers the re-rack. I think that famously happened to, was it Willie Thorne?
Close. I think the difference there was 56. World Championship against Andy Hicks. But it wasn't the case that Hicks suggested a re-rack. He was far too much of a gentleman for that, was Andy. It was the referee offered them a number of shots each to resolve the impasse when Willie was 56 up.
Who was the ref?
I'd like to say John Williams, but I'm not sure.
So that wouldn't surprise me, so it's probably a good guess. It's a safe bet. Yeah, that was a pretty good shot from Gilbert though, covering the 2 reds, forcing Walden. Doesn't want to catch the bump. Now, has he left? I think he has left a shot. It's got to go though. The pink is there if he can stun it stone dead.
Just oozing disgust, Dave Gilbert, because look at this table. Had that gone in, the chance to steal a second frame in succession would have been right there.
Yeah, in fact, my miscalculation there, the black was sitting there as well. If he could have stopped it, yeah. He He'd stopped it perfectly for the black. Now, is this a plant into the corner? If it is, this match is over.
One.
Yeah, to make matters worse, it's a dead set plant. Although Gilbert, I'm sure he thoroughly expected to knock that red in. It wasn't a difficult one for a player of his quality.
Four.
58 in front, still needs red. Colour red.
5.
It's hard to see him missing from here.
Yeah, far too experienced to be overly excited. He'll be fully concentrating.
Twelve.
There is a history of players coming into Group 7 as their first entry into the Championship League, winning that and then winning the whole shebang.
19.
Maybe Ricky Walden will join that list. He certainly won this match. He's beaten Dave Gilbert by 3 frames to 2. The day's play is concluded, and it concludes with Ricky Walden having won 4 matches out of 4. In terms of the group table, it's only 3 that counts because his win over Jack Jones was annulled when Jones pulled out. But I think that was a really good performance from the man from Cheshire. So, Jagudong and Ricky Walden with 3 points, looking good for the semi-final playoffs. Noppon Saengkham, 2 wins out of 3. Same applies to him. But for David Gilbert and especially Joe O'Connor and Zhou Yulong, there's a lot of hard work and a big turnaround required on the morrow. Rest assured, we will be back for the conclusion of Group 7 at 11 o'clock. It is the 2 players at the foot of the table who go head-to-head first on Table 1, Zhou Yulong against Joe O'Connor. Over on Table 2, Noppon Saengkham against Ricky Walden. Saengkham will be in the semi-finals if he wins that one. There you can see, because Jones has pulled out, it's only 2 matches each on Table 1 and 2 in the first session. But of course, we've got a full slate of snooker for you in the second session from 4:30. The final 2 round-robin matches, then the 2 semi-finals, and the Group 7 final after that. We hope you can join us here for a Snooker Saturday in Leicester. For now, though, it's a very good evening.